Good evening, it's Arlo Johnson in Vernon, BC. January the 9th at about 6:15 p.m. Just had a fair amount of snow. People are plowing snow and cleaning off snow, except that it's quite warm. It's in Fahrenheit, it's in like 35 to 40 degrees. Still warm. We're going to get a couple cold days coming up. And I've told people, I said, well, we'll have winter for 1.5 days, and then it'll warm up. We'll see. Anyway, tonight is something that I thought about the other day. It happened to me a couple nights ago. I'm laying in bed and as usual dreaming about things. And I got dreaming heavy about what I guess you would call like good and evil. And the scenario was that I was in the States and they'd become so organized against each other. They're like the two factions, the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, and what they tried to stand for. And the idea that to get rid of the ones who are causing the bad things to happen is like hashing over the whole idea of good and evil. Remember, God said that don't eat out of the tree of good and evil. If you do, you will die. Well, that's the argument right now. And I went on with this dream going on about how they're going to be starting to shoot each other, and they're going to be killing each other and murdering each other and fighting, and it's going to boil down to that. And then finally I came along and in the dream and I said, no, this is wrong. Wrong. Can't do it. This is not right. And I'm still dreaming, and then I said in my dream, I said, this is the reason why Jesus Christ is coming back to this earth. He's the only one who can deal with good and evil. And I said, that's the reason. That's why I think, as far as I'm concerned, that is the reason he's coming back here. He's going to deal with this world for 1,000 years with a rod of iron, he said. He will deal with it with a rod of iron. And that means tough rules. People who break the rules are going to have bad results. It says in one place that if they don't come up to his I forget what it is now, his certain celebration deals or whatever, that they will not receive rain. They will starve out. They won't until they do. Now that's because God controls the weather. Now that is something that make your head shake. The weather is ongoing, like there's weather and there's weather and there's other weather and then there's more weather all around the world happening all that time. And God uses weather at times. I mentioned a deal where actually I prayed and I asked God to intervene in the weather for 4 hours so we could burn this big pile of lumber and brush and construction material. And that happened April the 11th and 12th. And the records are there. You can look them up if you want. And I came out and the weather changed the way I asked it to be changed. Right in the midst of a deal where there had been a south wind for for 2 weeks. And we waited, and we needed a north wind. I asked for a soft north wind for 4 hours. And starting at about 7:30 in the morning, that next morning, bingo, a north wind for 4 hours. And I just looked and I thought, good grief. And I just said, thank you very much. And out of that, I realized that, you know, it quit and turned south in less than 4 hours, just about 4 hours. And it's recorded. Weather forecasts, weather deals have all got it recorded south all the time. And, you know, it seems to me, and I don't know if I'm right or not, but that God delights in doing smaller things, not necessarily earth-shattering things all the time, to people who trust Him, or, you know, and I think that's very important. But when you think about the reason that Jesus Christ is going to return to this earth and what has been planned for thousands and thousands of years, a plan. I listen to people, I listen to Elon Musk on the internet here being interviewed. And he's talking about, you know, how dire things could get on this planet. And he mentioned that Japan is losing population. It used to be like 160 million or maybe 170 million, I think. And now they're down to 110. And he says it won't be long, they'll be down to 85. And he said it won't survive. And he said our own countries have negative birth rates, and that's a result of people doing things against God's will. Abortion, not just abortion, not wanting to have children, and this has all happened in a generation or two lately, and it's gotten more pronounced, and it's as a result of selfishness that creeps into people. And I can see it plainly, like in 90 years I've seen our family, for instance, was a large family, go from a large family to boom, down to single digit deals because people don't want big families. They don't want any families. Some of them don't even get married. Some of them will just live together with someone for a while, whatever. And when that starts to happen, things go wrong. You die out. And you're just like a frog in a pan of water, and you can't tell when it starts to boil. The thing about it, when I was listening to Elon Musk, I could hear like the hopelessness of the situation. And he's supposed to be a very smart guy, and he is a smart guy. Very smart in certain things. But he keeps talking about, we have to find other planets to go to and this and that. And I don't think we decide things like that at all. That's, fantasy. And, to think that artificial intelligence will run the world, and maybe it will, but it won't be for the good. It'll be for something totally different than we're used to now. And people will just lose any of the traits and the things that made people, humans. They'll end up being like autotons. I mean, they'll just won't have any brain at all. They'll just do exactly what they're told. They can't move here. They can't move there. They have to stand there, do this, do that. Then there's people who are, wealthy people who think they should, reduce the population of the world down to about 1 billion instead of 8 billion. Elon Musk, I have to give credit to, he says that's really ridiculous thinking. That is so wrong. He said the planet could look after double what we got now, and I agree with that. I mean, look at Canada, for mercy. We're hardly we're hardly using any of it, and the second largest land nation on the planet. There's all kinds of room and stuff. Yet if people did the right things and didn't let greed get into the mix so bad that it kills everything. And I think it takes a revolution or two once in a while, by the look of it. But, when I had that dream, I was dreaming, how this is going to, who's going to win this, and, will the Democrats use the army to suppress everybody, or will there be open warfare, or what, And that's all possible because it's happened before. But then I actually said to myself, and I said, no, you're wrong. You're thinking wrong. That is why Jesus Christ is going to come back to this earth, and it's going to be fairly, we're getting to a point where it wouldn't surprise me when it starts, And when it starts, that's when you know how long it is to the end of the age. When the tribulation starts, really starts, and it's getting very close to that now, then you got 7 years. It's going to be 7 years of the worst possible time this planet has ever seen. And then after that, there's 1,000 to those who are left. You can figure all the things, you can make all the rockets you want and everything else to escape the earth. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. God's going to create a new heaven and a new earth. He's told everyone that. And it really does amaze me when I listen to these elite type professors and that, their intelligence and what they claim to have is lousy. It's stupid. If they realize, like, mankind does not have the power to even make laws. It tries to make laws, and it's failed miserably. Thousands of years it's tried to do that. Only God makes laws. Only the creator of this planet makes laws. And if you finally get that through your head that God has a plan, and you are part of that plan, as it turns out, I'm part of that plan, you're part of that plan, there's no getting away from it. You can't do anything about it, I can't do anything about it. God has a plan. He plainly said he will do his pleasure, and he made arrangements beforehand, before the plan took place, that Jesus would have to pay the price for the sins of his creation that he was going to create, so that he would be able to save them. Otherwise, he couldn't save them, because his law is supreme. It is unchangeable. And when he says, you break my law, you die, that is a fact. There's no getting around it. People think that they can break the law and not suffer the consequences. I mean, I've thought of that. I've done things and maybe still do things that I don't think, it won't matter. it'll matter. And that's where this business of realizing how lousy we are at controlling our own lives, doing things. We can't control what we think. Thoughts come in, thoughts come out. Where they come from, I don't know. But a lot of times we act on them. And the best survival tool that this world has for people is humility. That may sound dumb, but it is. The more humble you are and the more willing you are to ask God for forgiveness, in Jesus' name, he says, and then he'll do it. And that clears you. You are cleared, you will be cleared, and if you do it again, he'll clear you again if you ask the right way. And that, to me, is that's a perfect way to try to maintain a life that you can't seem to control anyway. Nobody's good enough they're just not good enough. We can't. We're not built for it. It's once I realized that I was not in control of anything in my life really, except maybe certain things. If I said, well, I'm going to try and do this tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. And if I did, well, I was good. A lot of times I didn't. What I wanted to do, I didn't do. What I didn't want to do, I did. And that's a human thing that drives every human being, is that we're more prone to do things that we shouldn't do than we are to do things that we should do. And it really is a good thing to kind of realize that in your own heart. I mean, I wish now that I had done things different in my life. Why wasn't I more, well, I don't know, loving, I guess you could say, but I didn't really like to show that, I don't want to show that. Oh, that's simple. It wouldn't have cost anybody a penny or nothing to do that. Well, I did. I mean, I certainly did. Not to be so that I was always sorry for doing this, sorry for doing that. My wife was always, I had to say, I'm sorry for that. Oh, I'm so sorry for that. But, that's bad to have to do that. You shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be sorry for what you do in life. You're not supposed to be. But that's why Jesus is coming back here. That's why this world is going to be changed so much in the future. From a world of problems, God calls it sin. Sin is actually breaking the law. And his law can't be broken. So if anybody tries to break it, they sin. And then the penalty for that is death. And when this is over with, and God runs this planet for 1,000 years, in 1,000 years, I would imagine that people are not going to be spiritual beings. They're still going to be earthly beings. And they will reproduce and have children and whatever. I'm quite sure of that. And that means he's building a family, a bigger family for God, the Father. And they will have no recourse to not do his way. His way will be his way or no way. And the thing is, you look at things sometimes and you say, what's the use? But you can look at it the other way and say, Man, oh man, is there ever a future for people who believe God, believe Jesus Christ, and believe in the world to come? There's no greater future than that. And a future that God has said we can't even imagine how good it's going to be. That it's never entered into the heart of man what it is. And if he says that, I would guess that he's true. Now, that is such a magnificent thing to be able to look forward to, even if you don't know exactly what it is, but you know the result is going to be God breathed and perfection forever. That's the other thing. That's hard to get used to too. But anyway, I'm glad I had that dream. I'm glad I'm telling you that dream. I don't know if it makes any sense to you or not, but I'm glad I did, because I'm glad in my dream even I said I was wrong. I mean, not to think that that's the way to go. So from now on, hopefully I won't have those kind of dreams anymore. They're no good anyway. Anyway, here's to the new year. Hope all the best for you, and we'll be able to meet the new year one way or the other and do the best we can, I guess. And I would like to say God bless you and keep you. Thank you very much.